Well, hello everybody. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl. And I know this is so impromptu, and I don't know how many people are actually going to be watching this, but I just came in from estate sales and I picked up some incredible records this morning, and I thought that I would share them with you. This is very impromptu. I'm actually sitting on the floor of my record room, which I have not shown you guys because it's not really finished yet. But you can see a big portion of my vinyl collection behind me. And I thought we'd kind of get these sorted and talk about what I'm going to do with them. And yeah, just some of the things I picked up. So this morning I went to this insane estate sale where I kid you not, there was probably over 500 records. Hey, Kim, welcome in this guy's house, and it was just crate after crate after crate. And I really expected. Here's a little picture to show you guys. I mean, that's just how many records were there. It was insane. I kind of expected from the pictures, hi Tiger, that there would be a ton of people in line because record collectors do come out in numbers for these types of things. And I figured, people might see all the vinyl and show up, but really there was only like 4 or 5 people, I would say, that were super interested in the vinyl. And the good thing for me is I like a lot of vinyl that not a ton of people like. Because I am very much into all the doo-wop and the vocal group harmony, and I love jazz. And of course, there definitely are jazz collectors out there that are very nerdy about jazz and love getting original presses of jazz albums. So that is very much a strong thing within the vinyl community. However, most of the average person, I would say, looks for a lot of the 1970s rock and roll stuff. And I enjoy that music a lot, but it's not what I'm always on the hunt for. And I love estate sales because you can find a lot of this vocal group harmony that people either don't want or don't know is valuable. And that's one of the things about these old records is not every one is valuable. Of course, there's a ton of them that you're flipping through and you're like, oh, there's another Andy Williams. I mean, I love Andy Williams, but his records are a dime a dozen. But there's some, particularly in that early doo-wop, 1950s, 1960s era. You get into soul too, where the records could be very hard to find, especially since you don't get them in good condition a lot. And they could be a $200 record that people don't know anything about and think it's old and nobody wants, and there it is for $4. So anyway, today was a great haul for me because I was able to pick up just a lot of things that most people probably wouldn't even care about, which I'm glad that I can rescue it and give it a good home and enjoy it. So that's very fun. Yes, Kate, I did. Man, I really, and let me tell you, Jeffrey is a saint. He was with me at estate sales, and I know he was bored stiff at the place with the vinyl because he is like, well, I visited the upstairs 3 times. Which I was like, thank you for waiting, because there's just so much. Like you can dig through a crate and decide quickly whether you want a record, but then you need to check its condition, right? Because you can't just like say, oh, I'm going to put that in my pile. And then maybe the record isn't even the one that goes with it. Maybe it's scratched, maybe it's warped. So, like, I have to study kind of each one before I decide. So, all of the records were $4, which I kind of feel like this estate sale decided that they were just going to price everything a little higher because there were so many records. They couldn't go through and decide what was good and what was not. So they probably figured, let's just make them all $4. And then if they don't move, then on the last day, they'll go for $2 or even less. And we'll just, people who are willing to pay the four, will take them. So I did get quite a few. And I'm very excited about that. And for me, $4 was a good price, knowing what some of these go for, and also some of them knowing that maybe they aren't worth, more than $8, but I'm upgrading something in my collection. And by the time I paid shipping for it or gas to go to another store, it was better for me to just get it here. Plus, I could hold it and see it. So, oh, Gavin, I'm glad you're here. You'll really like these. So I'm so glad. Yes, patience is a virtue, especially when you've got someone that's in the vinyl that is crate digging, because that takes a while. So let me just get started with some of the things that I picked up. This one is a really cool record, and I look for original jazz because a lot of the jazz pressings, people may not know but a lot of them go for good money. So if you're a reseller, definitely don't skip over the jazz albums, because some of them, depending on condition and everything, might be worth a good little chunk of money. And this one is great. This is Jazz Spectacular. It's Frankie Lane, who I wasn't too familiar with, but I knew Buck Clayton really well because he was in Count Basie's orchestra, and he's an incredible trumpet player. So I was really thrilled to pick this up, and the condition's pretty good. It's on the Columbia 6i label. You can always tell the 6i's labels because it's got the 3 eyes on either side with the Columbia logo. And this one, as you can see, is nice and shiny. So I was really thrilled to get this particular record and give it a listen. I think it's from the 50s. I don't know the exact dates on some of these off the top of my head. I did use Discogs, which is a wonderful website. If you're a reseller and you're looking into vinyl, Discogs will help you figure out what the average pricing is on records. It will help you determine what pressing you have, which is really important, because just because the covers look the same doesn't mean the pressing's the same. So that's cool. Now, this is in pretty rough shape, but I did pick this up because I don't know if you can tell, but behind me, I'm going to kind of tilt the camera up a little bit. I'm working on this gallery wall in here, and it's by no means anywhere complete. But I wanted to do something a little different. I kind of wanted in here to frame some really cool album art. And I know a lot of people do that in their record rooms, but I wanted not the average kind of album covers. And so I found this mid-century gem, and it's a Decca Records set, and the cover's kind of fallen apart. But what I wanted it for was the art, because the Manhattan Tower on this is fabulous. You've got the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building in kind of that brutalist brutalist mid-century era style, and I just love this. And I don't know actually anything about the records inside. Oh, it looks like chorus music, maybe. Gordon Jenkins and his orchestra and chorus, Magical City. So, and it's a musical narrative. So I don't know much about the records, but the album art is pretty fabulous. So there's a few records you'll see today. Hi, Lisa, that I picked up purely because I'm doing this little fun gallery wall project, and I thought that, oh, the art would be fabulous. And yeah, New York is my favorite city. Another thing when you're out like shopping for vinyl to really look for is like good Christmas vinyl, because it, I tell you, is hard to find. One, in good condition, and two, for prices that aren't crazy. I mean, I go into record shops and I will find an original pressing of Bing Crosby's Merry Christmas for $60, $70. And I'm not saying it's not worth that on the Silver Decca label, but I tell you, just good classic Christmas music is difficult to find. So I picked up Christmas with Conniff. Of course, love Ray Conniff. And this was a great album that I don't have in my collection. And on the Columbia 6i label, nice shiny vinyl on this one. So the jacket's a little worn, but I was thrilled to get this. And it's got Here Comes Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which Jeffrey and I learned something on the way home. We were looking up Rudolph, and apparently the original reindeer pack was made way before Rudolph, and Rudolph was actually invented for a Montgomery Ward Christmas campaign. And so that's why they say, you know, do you recall the most, whatever it is, greatest reindeer of all or whatever? And the song is because Rudolph wasn't originally part of all the other reindeer. He was added. So that was really interesting little thing we Googled on the way home. But I was thrilled to get this. And what's cool is I love when records have their original price tag from wherever they came. So this cost $2.15, which I think is that's just so cool. You paid I cannot believe, Gavin, $1 for your Bing Silver Decca. You know, I got mine from my grandparents, and it is probably the most special record I own. And my grandparents had this box of records, my dad's parents, and they were like, oh, we tried to give this away years ago and nobody wanted it. And if you want it, you're into vinyl, you know, come take a look at it. And I literally gasped the room. And Dad thought, because of where the box was, that maybe a shelf in the garage had fallen on me or something. So he came running out to check on me. And what it was is I had just found an original pressing of Bing Crosby's Merry Christmas on the Silver Decca label. And I was just like thrilled to have it. They also had the 1960s reissue on the Color Decca label. So I have both from them, which is very cool. So that was neat. Now, this is a classical Mozart record, and not something I would normally pick up to listen to. But again, with my album art project, how fabulous is this record sleeve with the giant skeleton key and the keyhole? And I also think it's kind of neat that it is Mozart. My other grandmother was a music teacher, and she loved classical music, was really into all of the music from that time, all the symphonies and things like that. They listened to it tons. Hi, Nick. Welcome in. So that's kind of a neat little homage to my grandma, but also the album art I think is wonderful to frame for my little gallery wall. So I did pick that up. Now, some of these may be coming to a future sale. You will maybe find them at some point. This is one that I just thought was really cool for a mini sale. This is Season's Greetings from Barbra Streisand. But what I liked about this is Maxwell House is advertised on this. So when you purchase Ground or Instant, you get $1 off for Maxwell House Coffee, which is located here in Jacksonville, the original plants here. And the record itself is in great condition. And of course, it's got the Maxwell House label in conjunction with Columbia. Let me flip that around so you can see. So I thought that was kind of a neat piece of advertising. Plus, it's a good Christmas record. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I love these giveaway Christmas records. I'm obsessed with them. I have every single Firestone record because the music on them is so good. Plus, you get the advertising. It's just really cool. So I picked this up. I couldn't leave it behind. It's, still got the shrink with the little advertising tag. So I thought that was cool. And Barbra Streisand, you can't go wrong with her. Now, this was exciting for me. I picked up quite a few Frankie Valli records. And Frankie Valli is one, if you do any reselling or record reselling, definitely keep an eye out for some of the original Four Seasons records, because some of them, particularly Sherry, can go for good money and they're hard to find in good condition. So I found a ton of Frankie Valli stuff today, which if you don't know, Frankie Valli he was one of the early artists from kind of that vocal group harmony era that I got into. And so he kind of was the catalyst for my vinyl collecting, and how I got into vinyl was partly because of him. And of course, Jersey Boys, the musical. And so I have tons of Frankie Valli stuff. I've seen him in concert twice. I absolutely love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So I have some of his stuff on vinyl that's in pretty rough condition that I paid $25 for just to have the record, but the condition was terrible. So I was really thrilled today to pick up finally a better copy of Ragdoll, which is my favorite song from the Four Seasons. And this record is in mono, so that's very cool. On the Philips label. So this was an exciting find for me, and such a great price at $4. I mean, honestly. And then this one I don't have, and this is on the VJ label, Big Girls Don't Cry. I've been looking for this record for so long now. The condition of the jacket is terrible. Like, the record is falling out at the bottom, but the record itself is in really good condition, and it does need a little bit of cleaning. I'm not going to lie about that. It needs some help, but I think I can bring it back to life. And just was thrilled to get a copy of this finally after all of this time. Big Girls Don't Cry and 12 others. The Four Seasons featuring the sound of Frankie Valli, and of course it's got Walk Like a Man, Silhouettes, Tonight, Lucky Ladybug that they did, which it was covered by I think Billy and Lily originally did Lucky Ladybug. I believe they covered some other things, Big Girls Don't Cry, of course. A lot of this written by the stuff that's done, of course, by the Four Seasons by Bob Gaudio, which is amazing. So that was a big find of the day. Another find is this Don Williams record, and this is why this music hall is very eclectic. I grew up on Don Williams. I love, love, love his music. In fact, I was actually listening to it last night. I have this particular record, but the condition is terrible. So I picked up Don Williams' Portrait. It features my favorite Don Williams song, Good Old Boys Like Me. I think Don Williams is his voice is just so absolutely incredible. And I am thrilled to get a good clean copy of this. Now, they had two of them, and ironically, both were in excellent condition, which was surprising because not every one of the records that were in these bins were good. A lot of them were kind of junky, so you really had to look. But I thought, how cool, I'm going to get both of them. And then for Christmas, I'm going to surprise my dad with one of them framed for his little office space. Because I was just texting Dad last night about that. I was listening to that record, and we listened to it all the time when I was growing up. Not the vinyl itself, Dad had it on CD, but that is just such a special thing for me to find that. So I'm glad. Yeah, they are. Old records are very sturdy. Yeah, the mid 80s ones are like flimsy. They are. Oh, yes. I love him, Lisa. Don Williams is amazing. His voice is just so calming to me. Whenever I just need to like escape the world for a while, I always put him on and I'm just sort of transported into another world. It's great. Now, this record is one that I got for my record wall that I'm doing, and the condition of this is not good, but I just, there's something in me, maybe it's because I love advertising, that loves promotional records. I love any type of giveaway, any type of thing with advertising, like any club. I just think it's cool, and it's a neat little collection of things from the past that we don't really have anymore. Like, no one's joining I mean, yeah, I guess you join a club to stream music, but there's no physical media clubs anymore where you're, getting things in the mail. And so I thought this was cool. This is from the Columbia Record Club, and it's a bonus record, and I love the 6i label. Like, I'm a huge fan of that graphic anyway, and I thought, how cool is this on like this kind of gold colored album art is just awesome. And then you've got the 6i label that like fits perfectly in the center. So when I get this framed up, I think it will be cool. But yes, you could get let's see what it says, a Columbia checklist of some of America's most wanted selections. Ooh, let's see. Girl Meets Boy. Oh, that's Jerry Vale, of course. Percy Faith and his orchestra. Joseph Hoffman, not familiar particularly with him. Benny Goodman, of course. Yeah, love Benny Goodman. The Calvin Jackson Quartet, House of Flowers, Pal Joey. So these are some of the ones I guess you could get inside of the record club. This is limited edition, not for sale. But I just thought this was cool. And I also, this is a weird thing, and I know a lot of record people are like, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't mind that it has like writing on it. I think sometimes that tells the story of the record. I understand wanting, good condition of things, but I kind of love the idea that a lot of my collection has maybe people's names on the outside of the jacket because they love this record too. And now I'm keeping it alive, in my collection, which is cool. Yes, you miss Columbia House and record clubs. You used to get a ton of stuff from them. Oh yeah, CDs. I know. Well, even those are gone. Gone are the days of physical media, but thankfully there are people that really love vinyl and want to have them back. And speaking of vinyl, TC is in the house, and if you do not follow TC at TKR Video Central, he is amazing. I love his content. He works so hard to put out really cool videos of obscure stuff, and he collects vinyl as well, and he's got great taste. So TC, definitely go give him a follow. And Gavin, who's also in the chat, does some incredible stuff on his channel with records if you like that as well. Let's see, you have a few with names on them. Oh, you've also found them inside a Steppenwolf record. Someone typed out the lyrics on a typewriter. See, I love that stuff. I'm a sucker for a good story. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, let's see. Now, this was a big find for me today. I love the Dave Brubeck Quartet. I think absolutely amazing pianist. And this is Bossa Nova USA. I'm not 100% sure. This is in mono on the Columbia label. I don't know if this is a first pressing. I have to be honest, I don't know a ton about the different pressings, but the condition was excellent. And so I did do a little quick search on Discogs. And from what I can tell, I think it is, but I could be wrong. But the condition was great. Love Dave Brubeck. Was excited to get this. I don't actually have a lot of non reissue jazz. I have tons of reissue jazz from Blue Note and things from Craft Recordings, which are amazing, but nothing, sort of in the wild that I've found. So that was kind of cool to me. Yes, I'm more interested in the music and the conditions. So writing stickers and stuff they don't bother me as long as the record plays. That's what matters and plays well. Doesn't have a lot of noise. Now this was another one I was thrilled to get. This is Don Williams, the best of, and I have all of the best of compilation albums, but this particular album I bought when I first got into vinyl. I used to go to, you guys probably know it, Fifth and Charles. We didn't really have a ton of record stores here at the time. There was one in the Beach Boulevard Flea Market, which now has its own shop, which is really cool. But Tiger Records and all of those places in town didn't exist. So I would go we got a Fifth and Charles bookstore out here, and they would have vinyl in sometimes, and I would go crate dig, and I was so excited to get this Don Williams record. I just started collecting vinyl in high school, and I picked this up, and then when I got it home and I started to play it, I realized there's a slight warp in it. So I've had this record forever, and I have to skip the first two tracks because it's warped, so I can only listen to the other two. So I was really thrilled to finally get a good, nice, clean copy of the best of Don Williams. Of course, this has Turn Out the Light and Love Me Tonight, Rake and Ramblin' Man, which I love, I'm Just a Country Boy, Tulsa Time, Some Broken Hearts Never Mend, Say It Again. I mean, like all the classic Don Williams stuff. So this was a real winner for me. I was thrilled to get that. And this was another one that's great, talking about like looking at the Christmas albums and getting that good classic Christmas stuff. This will be available at some point. I actually have a copy of this. This is on Philips, the Four Seasons Christmas album, and it's in fantastic condition with its original inner sleeve on Philips. Like, look how glossy that is. Someone took good care of this. So I was really thrilled to get this in the shrink. I think that this is excellent. And someone will absolutely love that. I'm happy to share that. Catherine's here. Hey, Catherine. Welcome. Oh, thanks, TC. I enjoy being on TC's channel. He's a lot of fun. Tulsa Time's a great song. A really great song. And speaking of Don Williams, I also got the other Portrait album. I showed this one earlier. It's got Good Old Boys Like Me, but I'm going to frame this, I think, for my dad and give it to him for Christmas. He'll really enjoy that. Now, Jeffrey picked this one up, so this actually was just in my stack because we brought them all in together, but he got this to listen to. And this is Cocktail Piano Time. I know nothing about this record. It's actually a box set. Music in an intimate mood. We both love like jazz and piano, and I'm sure that this was something that you bought off of from Reader's Digest, But who knows? This could be really good. Box set, $4. I mean, you can't argue with that. That's so good. So anyway, that might have some good stuff in it, but I can't wait to get that open and see what it is. Oh, now this was a good record. Now I paid more than the $4 for this because they had it in a separate section. They had obviously gone through it this estate sale. It was weird to me how they did this. And I realized like estate sale people that don't know vinyl don't have time to look through literally like 500, 600 records, right? But it's almost like they just went through and pulled like famous titles, so to speak, and then put them in a separate area and charge just crazy amounts. Like, for example, they had a really scratched up, bad copy of Thriller. That record is everywhere. I could walk into a record shop right now and pick that up. And they wanted $35 for it. I'm like, are you kidding? That burns me a little bit, right? Because I see records a lot and I'm like, no, that's not worth it. But then where that was to my benefit is they don't know any of this old stuff. So the Dave Brubeck Quartet, the, early jazz stuff, I picked up for a steal. But then, if you want any of the Jethro Tull or they had Three Dog Night, they had, I'm trying to think, REO Speedwagon, they had a ton of that stuff priced at $40-50. I'm like, are you kidding? That's so ridiculous. Anyway, I won't go on too much about that. But I did pay $5. Yes, I know I paid an extra dollar for this record. But this is the Everly Brothers. Now, I love the Everly Brothers, and this has a ton of songs on it that I don't have on any of my other Everly Brothers stuff. And I don't actually know when this is from, but I have a feeling it's an earlier record. There's tons of Everly Brother reissue stuff, and I have a lot of presses of things that are just bad. That you find a lot of these older records are scratched. So I was anyway thrilled to get this, and it has, of course, Wake Up Little Susie, All I Have to Do Is Dream, Bird Dog, Poor Jenny. I mean, pretty much Bye Bye Love, all the Everly Brothers stuff right here in this record, and it was in very good condition on Cadence. So I have to do a little more research on this just for myself. But again, I didn't think $5 was unreasonable for this at all, because I'm going to listen to it, and by the time you pay shipping and all that somewhere, it's probably more. So this was good. I was glad to get it. Two guys talking about records, the whole show on price gouging recently. You should check it out. Yeah, I would love to watch that, TC. Hi, Chris Cruz. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. You listened to your sister's Everly Brothers records growing up. Yeah, Everly Brothers are great. Everly Brothers are great. Okay, now this one, I know nothing about it. I'll be honest. I picked up also for the cover. I originally was just going to hold it up for my photo because I thought it was so funny. And then Jeffrey and I kind of both fell in love with the cover, and we're like, okay, well, maybe I do need this in my life. So I picked this up because I really love the cover, and maybe the songs on it will be great. This is Disco Delight. And I just think this deserves a moment to be framed, to be hung somewhere, to be loved. The font is like so awesome. This 80s sort of deco revival is just fun. And they cut the corner off here. So this means that usually when you get the corner cut off or there's a hole like punched in the record, that means that they had excess and they sold them cheaply somewhere after that, like at the something with the record. So usually there's that. This one, oh, Let's Make Love. That's the name of this. Special disco version. Ooh, this is going to be fun. So I'm going to have to listen to this. I did pick up a Christmas disco, which actually is very hard to find in good condition. Over the holidays, I picked up 2 of them, and in the estate sale, I sold one and I kept one. But yeah, Disco Delight, just, I don't know, something about this said, hey, you got to come home with me. So I'll have to fix its cover a little bit. But yeah, what do you think? Did I do well on the Disco Delight? Because I'm very happy with my Disco Delight purchase. I think that was fun. Yeah, the graphics will be great for the wall. Now, another one that I thought would be kind of fun, I may keep this and I may end up bringing it to a future sale. But I love, again, these advertising records. I don't know why. I just think they're awesome. And I know that you can find them places because they were giveaways. But this is for Zenith TVs or radios. And it's Christmas, a gift of music. But look at the album cover. I mean, the snowflake is fantastic. Then you get the little advertisement at the bottom, which I just love. And this has Ray Conniff, Percy Faith, Doris Day, Johnny Mathis, Patty Page, Bobby Vinton, Charlie Bird, Jerry Vale, the Brothers Four. I mean, literally everybody that sung fantastic Christmas music is on this. So I loved this. And I thought, how awesome to decorate for Christmas. Pop this in your Christmas display, and it would go great also through winter time. Plus, you get the really cool advertisement. You know what I mean? That's just awesome. So, of course, yeah, I had to pick that up. I would be silly to leave it behind. Yeah, I love the graphics on that one too, Kim. Okay. I also love Nat King Cole. I'm sure if you guys are into this type of music, you love Nat King Cole. His voice is just so good. This is on Capitol Records. I ended up picking up quite a few Nat King Cole records today because I think I have one in my entire collection because a lot of them, when you find them, again, just the condition. I wish vintage records didn't have the condition they did, but a lot of them are not good. Now, this is on the Capitol Colored label, and this is fantastic. Love is the thing, Nat King Cole. So I did grab that, and these are exciting. So I grew up on Neil Diamond. I don't know about you guys, but my mom loved Neil Diamond. One of my favorite songs is Forever in Blue Jeans. I have every Neil Diamond record that he ever put out. But again, with condition, there's records of his that I've been needing to upgrade for a while because the condition's just so not great. So I picked up quite a few Neil Diamond records to replace some of the ones that are a little rough in my collection. And this is Neil Diamond, Touching You, Touching Me. This one has Holly Holy, another fantastic song on it. So many things on this record. So I was glad to get that. This is also Neil Diamond, You Don't Bring Me Flowers. I think that this one has Forever in Blue Jeans in it. Is this the one? Let me see. Yeah, Forever in Blue Jeans on this particular record. So that's another favorite Neil Diamond of mine. This one is love songs. So fantastic. And of course, Neil Diamond Primitive. Love that this has the original sticker from Crazy Eddie's record tape and what does that say? Asylum? Yeah, record tape asylum. Okay. Crazy Eddie's. But yeah, pick that one up. Good to have all of these kind of, and I've really got a lot of Neil Diamond today just to get some of the collection a little bit better. And this one's a cool one because it's a promo record. So these were given out like to radios and such. So you can see for promotion only on the back, owned by CBS. So that's cool. Oh, and yeah, it has the radio sticker on the front for FM 95.5 and AM 1580. So that was very cool. Nat King Cole, yeah, such a classic. Hubby and I would go disco dancing one night and then country the next. Also, there was a bar in Phoenix that was country upstairs and rock and roll downstairs, and you could go back and forth. Oh, that's cool, Kim. Yeah, I'm not a very good dancer. If any of you guys watch the weekly Speakeasy podcast I do, and you're part of the little secret room, I think Jeffrey, or maybe on the main thing, Jeffrey posted a video of me dancing at the silent disco, and it was terrible. Like, I just have no rhythm, but I do dance and sing anyway, regardless of how terrible I am, and I just don't care. But I would not be one for line dancing, but I think it's amazing, and I love that that people do that. Of course, I picked up Neil Diamond's Beautiful Noise. Beautiful Noise is my second favorite song, I believe, by Neil Diamond, although he just has so many fantastic songs. So I was thrilled to get all of those. I also picked up, yes, and this is a big haul. I Don't Want to Be Hurt Anymore. Another fantastic Nat King Cole on Capitol. Another Nat King Cole. Let's see. The Swinging Side of Nat King Cole. Awesome to get these. Okay, this is another one I picked up because I thought it would be fantastic for framing. And it's a Firestone record, so I couldn't leave it behind. My heart when I see these Firestone records, I just need to rescue them. I don't know, it's just a thing. So of course it has the little 1960s like starbursts on them, so I had to grab this one. Firestone 5-star Fiesta. It has Dean Martin, Jackie Gleason, Nat King Cole, Kay Starr, and Guy Lombardo. Five of my favorites. So that's a that's a great record. And this one, of course, I picked up Jackie Gleason, Music, Martinis, and Memories. And particularly, I love Jackie Gleason, but why I love this album is the stylized, like 1950s, 60s kind of swanky martini glasses on the back. I thought were fabulous and also frame worthy. Now, if I frame these, because I still will probably want to listen to the record, what I might do is get another sleeve and then that's kind of worn down, put the record in it and then label it, and then I can frame the album art somehow. I'll figure out how to do that. But that is basically all of the records that I picked up today. Now let me know what your favorite is in the comments. I'm very curious. Hi Helen. As long as we have fun dancing and singing, it's hard to ever pick a favorite. Exactly, Karen. Neil Diamond is one of those. It's just like Billy Joel. It's like how do you choose? I mean, it's like impossible. There's so many good songs from him. Same with Elton John. But Billy Joel, he's another one that I think about. Like people ask me my favorite Billy Joel, and I don't know. Like I love Only the Good Die Young, but then I love Stranger is excellent. Well, everyone. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Allentown, still rock and roll to me. Like I have a laundry list of favorites. I can't pick. It's so hard. The Christmas ones are particularly special. They're really great. And most of the people that were shopping in the estate sale today, I could hear them because several guys were on the phone with like their buddies and they were saying, "Oh, it's just a bunch of old stuff. You wouldn't want this." And I'm thinking, well, you're missing out on some good music. It all seems like a great haul, at least what I saw. I was like getting here. Yes, you'll have to check out the replay, TC. Yeah, this is all definitely my kind of music, but I definitely have a lot of eclectic taste in music. So last night I was listening to Don Williams, and then I switched over to Jimmy Buffett for a while, and then I had on some pop punk albums that are my favorite. I had on a Good Charlotte record, and then I switched. Oh, and I had Under the One Fell Under the Cork Tree. I had that on, and then I switched over to Elton John live at the Rainbow Theater with Roy Cooper. So I had, and then I had some jazz on. So really, yesterday was an eclectic music day, just to give you a little window into my world. But when I get this room finished up, and right now it is not, I will definitely do another little tour in here. But behind me is my two large vinyl crates, I'm going to call them. They're from the company LP Bin, and I love them. They have a lot of storage. I am slowly running out of space in these, which is a little bit of a problem. I am getting another turntable at some point and set up from my dad. So when I get that, I want to have like a secondary listening setup in here so that I can listen to music in here if I'm wanting a more intimate, cozy vibe. And then I could have my main listening station out in the living room where, if I have people over, I can play records and things. So that's kind of neat. And then above me, I'll show you some of what's up here. Just a little sneak peek of what's here. Okay, let me see. I'm going to have to unplug my. All right, hang on, guys. I don't know if I can do this. Hopefully, you can still hear me. But okay, I'm gonna just take you up here. Ooh, everything's a little crazy. All right, so over here, I've started hanging some stuff. So I have my Sub Radio, which is my favorite indie band. They're about to produce an album. It comes out May 9th. And they are fabulous. Neil Avron produced their new album, which is a big deal for a little indie band. He did bands like Walk the Moon, Weezer, Yellow Card, Oh my gosh, so many pop punk bands. He's a big producer from California, so I can't wait for their new album. But I've seen them and actually met the band several times in concert. So this is the concert poster that I got when I met them in St. Louis, and that is one of their set lists. Now, the cool thing about that is it got sprayed with water. Adam was dancing around, the lead singer, on stage and spilled his water, and the whole thing got soaked. And after the concert was over, I was, it's an indie venue, so everybody's kind of huddled together. And I rushed the stage, climbed up on the stage, and peeled that off. It was soaking wet. It was Adam's. And I carried it all the way home from the Duck Room, actually, which is an iconic venue from the Duck Room, on a piece of paper that Jeffrey found, an old newspaper, and we got it home and let it dry out, and it's framed now, which is cool. That's a feather from Adam's boa from one of his things on stage when I saw them in Orlando. And then I saw Ian McConnell's another indie artist I love. I met him at the Masquerade in Atlanta, and he signed his set list, so that's cool. I got this down in Disney with Catherine, an artist, did this of Mickey and Minnie playing records, which is very cool, and I met the artist during the artist festival, so I love that. TV's on the wall here, but it's kind of janky there for now. I'd love a mount that's not swivel, because I think that it's a little hard. And then I've added some other things over here that are kind of neat. I will be adding more to this, and I don't know if it will stay this way, but I just wanted to get something up on the wall. I met Susan Sarandon, and which was really cool. And Rocky Horror is one of my favorite things. So she signed my picture disc, and it says "Be It" from Susan Sarandon, which is cool. When I was growing up, my dad made me a Jimmy Buffett themed room. I was a kid that was super into Buffett because Dad got me into him. So I had a whole Parrot Head themed room when I was a kid, and Dad framed a bunch of his old albums and hung them in my room. So this was one that was hanging in my room. So that's very special to me. And this I just thought was cool. The insert to the Capitol, you don't find these in different records, but Capitol Records, I thought it was cool. This is an advertisement for Coke for how to do the Madison. So I really love this. I had this framed, and on the back it's got all the steps. So I think that's a really neat piece. And then my dad grew up going to Peaches record stores, which are not in existence anymore. I think there's actually one still in New Orleans. But I was crate digging at this estate sale in St. Louis, and they had a bunch of these record sleeves. So of course I had to buy one and put it in my record room. And then these are cool. When I visited Hat Show Print in historic Nashville, they printed all the concert posters for decades for huge bands. This came from the historic Studio B. Dolly Parton did music there. A whole slew of incredible artists. Ray, oh shoot, I'm just blanking on his name. Anyway, I can't think of his name, but anyway, from Studio B, so I got to tour that. And then this is a reproduction of an Elvis Presley concert poster. What I thought was so cool about this was when we toured Hat Show Print, this was their poster of the month. And what's special about this is it was a recreation of the concert that happened to be in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Florida Theater where I live. So I bought this recreation poster. Originals go for thousands, but I was just thrilled to get that. And so that's kind of the start of my little music room, my little area here with all my vinyl. I don't have it, like I said, all set up yet, but now you guys get to see just a little bit of some fun things. And I've started a row of stickers back here from various record stores I've been to, and yeah, it's going to be fun when I get it all set up. So anyway, oh, thanks, Tiger. I appreciate it. I love this hat. Yes, MB has circus prints from Hatch. That's right. She loves Hat Show Print. Hey, Daisy Taylor. Nice to see you. Well, I think, guys, that's going to wrap up this record haul. I appreciate you all hanging out with me this afternoon. I am excited to get these cleaned and put away and just kind of have fun listening through these and get some of the album art framed up. I picked up also a few weeks ago in another place. Let me see if I can grab it. I love the impressions, but I picked up some other really cool. This has the playing cards on the front. So I thought that would be a great record for the wall. Just coming up with some really fun album covers for that, I think will be great. But yes, for the weekend, I will have eons of things to listen to. So that will be exciting. Well, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget, I've got my sale with Nate tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern. So we'll be selling all of our fabulous jewelry. And, oh, Kim, that's a good question. So I'm kind of different than most people when I organize records. And I know I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to be shocked because it's against the grain, but it's what I like to do. So a lot of people organize records by last name. I personally do not. I like to organize things by first name because that's exactly how I enjoy finding records. So I organize them by first name. And then I have these little record cards. I don't know if you can see them. You can get them on Amazon. And I put the name of the band up at the top, the Zodiacs, for example. And then I have these little tabs, which I really want to get some better ones. They make these nice ones on Etsy. They're just sort of expensive. So what I did was I bought these file folder things for now, and they have, I've added this so it sticks up a little bit, but they've got the letters so that I can find them. Now, down here, I will admit, so the top records are very organized. Down here, this is just stuff that has ended up here that I haven't gotten into a letter section yet, but I don't have enough room up top in these bins to really get everything in a letter, so I need to do something with the down here. But I do sort of have these organized in the piles. So this over here is a lot of jazz and vocal group harmony stuff. And then my favorite records I reach for a lot stay in this pile. And then over here, same thing on that shelf. I put all of my kind of pop punk records together and I can find those. So yeah, I don't have the best system probably, but it's the system that works for me. And my biggest thing with organizing my vinyl is I wanted things to feel like a record store. I didn't want, I know a lot of people have the IKEA Kallax shelves where they're organized like this way. I don't like that because for me, I find that I'm not going to reach for vinyl as often if I have to pull it from the side and sit and really dig, like get on my knees and bend down and look. But if it's up here or something I can flip through quickly, it's just so much easier for me. And I like the record store feel. So that's just what I do. But everybody has a method that's like great for them. And this is me. I also would like to get in here some sort of kind of incoming bin. Right now, I just set them on the floor by my coffee table, propped up. Always stack your vinyl this way. Don't stack them on top of each other. It will cause ring wear and warping. So that's my tip. If you're new into vinyl, make sure to stack them this way. So I stack them up like this by the side of my coffee table, the new ones I get, so I know that I have them to listen to before I file them away. But I want to get some sort of like new record bin in here so that the stuff that I'm just getting, I know that it's there and I can listen to it. Oh, no one is as weird as I am when it comes to organizing. So this is how you arrange your collection. Okay, TC, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. TC says, get a couple of Oob cubes for your incoming bin. They're great. Okay, TC, I will look for that. Can you get them on Amazon? That would be amazing. Let's see. You're not helping Gavin and I. Our whole disagreement with how to alphabet. Okay, so Gavin, do you organize them by first name or last name? I'm not a last name person. Here's why for that. You get bands, especially because like I listen to a lot of doo-wop stuff. And a lot of the band names for that type of music is like the Zodiacs. But sometimes there's like several Zodiacs because they all kind of interchange names and things were similar. So I would rather have like the Zodiacs, and then have them. I'd rather them not by last name. That's just it's easier, and maybe that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me. You can just search Oob Cube. Okay, perfect, TC. I will do that. Oh, he does first name too. Yeah, I always like, why last name? Especially like bands that aren't, if you know what I mean, like bands that don't have, they're two words, but then they put them by the last name of the band. Anyway, that just kind of annoys me a little bit, but I understand why record stores do that. I do, but I like the first name. I'm glad, Gavin, your team first name. All right. Well, I think that's everything that I have to share. So I'm going to wrap this up unless you guys have any questions about vinyl for me, which I'm always happy to talk vinyl and answer anything you guys have. I know I haven't done an extensive video yet on my collection, but someday I will, because this will take a while. I probably have, ooh, I don't know, 300 or 400 records, maybe. I don't know. I have a good number. I'd have to see how many of these LP bins hold. But if you are looking for an investment for your collection, I recommend the LP bin. I will be honest up front, they are not cheap. They are something that you invest in and you have, but I love them. They are incredibly sturdy. They come on wheels. And they were the best thing I ever got myself for records, because they make me so happy. I feel like I'm in a record store, and I love the ability to add on, so you could get more of these and then fill them up, and they're sturdy. You don't have the worry that they're gonna fall over like the IKEA. I'm just so scared of that too. I'm not a super fan of the IKEA shelving. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions, so I'll wrap this up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you on my jewelry sale, my bling party with Nate at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure that you go also check out Pam Blanchard at 8 o'clock. She's got a fantastic sale on Saturdays. If you don't know her, she's another friend of mine. And then Gavin and TC in the chat have record channels as well, and they do a lot of fun things. So I'll see you guys in another video, but thanks for coming along for this journey. And as always, I hope you will save that vintage, spin that vinyl, and bend YouTube. Bye-bye, everyone.